Your moment, express yourself, let your voice be heard. This is your moment, the time has come to share it with the world. This is your moment, express yourself, let your voice be heard. This is your moment, the time has come with the Latoya Foster Show.
Happy holidays, everyone. Welcome to another edition of This Is Your Moment. I'm your host, Latoya Foster, and a fun fact about myself. I love reality television. Yep, that's right, I said it. It's my guilty pleasure for sure. And one of my favorites is The Real Housewives of Potomac. And my guest today, Candiace Dillard Bassett, is experiencing quite a tumultuous season. Coming up next, find out about this roller coaster of a season, her most challenging moments, her prayer life, her life and politics, success and the definition of it, and so much more. Coming up next. Candiace Dillard Bassett. Candiace Dillard Bassett. Thank you so much for being on the program. That's important. We gotta put that Bassett at the end.
Yes.
You earned that one.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. Welcome to This Is Your Moment, girl. How are you?
I am so wonderful, Latoya. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. I love your backdrop, too. I didn't say that. I love how festive it is back there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Look, well, you know what I said. As soon as I saw your backdrop, I was like, oh, my God, please take me on a virtual tour of the house. I really need to see the house.
Listen, Bravo would murder me if I gave the exclusive to anyone but them. And also, like I said, I'm trying to wait because so much of my furniture is, on a ship somewhere or in the wings or, in India being crafted. I'm doing this gorgeous mantelpiece that's being custom made in India. And it's taking 90 days for it to be made, and then they have to ship it over via freight. And
that's so worth the wait.
Yeah, we're doing some really amazing stuff in here. My interior designer she was my wedding planner, Julie. Her company, Strawberry Milk, also does interior design. So we've been working very closely to try and get everything all ready for the people so that when I do a big reveal, it looks, like it's supposed to look.
I cannot wait, and I got to figure out a way to get on that list when you do a big reveal post-pandemic.
Yes, right? Yeah.
I can't wait.
We can arrange for some things.
Yeah, I love it.
Put my hair together here. Yeah.
Well, Candiace, we have had an enormous amount of pleasure watching you on The Real Housewives of Potomac every week. By the time this show airs, I believe we will have seen the first of the reunion special. This was quite a tumultuous season for you.
Yes, it was. That's the word, tumultuous. That's a good word.
Roller coaster. But you persevered. You made it through. Let's talk a little bit about it for our viewers out there. Now that you are outside of that moment, how are things going? How are you? How are you doing?
Thank you for asking. I am taking it. At first it was hour by hour. Now it's day by day. Okay. It has been a very tough ride. And I struggle to talk about this, the whole season, as if everyone knows and understands. I'm not sure how many of your viewers are avid watchers of the show. If you are, thank you. If you're not, it's all right. It's a mess. But I'm trying to practice not speaking about it in an all-consuming way.
I got you.
Because I think it's important to, especially in these tumultuous times in which we live now, to remember that everybody is suffering, everybody is going through stuff, people a lot more than others, but everybody is dealing with turmoil inside of themselves. And I find myself feeling less bogged down when I remove that pressure of feeling like, I have to swim and revel in all of the drama of my TV show. Right. When the reality is, I live so much life outside of the show. Right. I'm so much more than the show. The show has afforded me a lot of opportunities and a lot of blessings, and I'm grateful for those. But I think for me, it's been cathartic even to just not speak about it in an all-consuming way.
Right.
You know, it's because it for a long time, and for those who aren't familiar, this was season 5 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. This was my 3rd season, and there was a very unexpected physical altercation that I never in 6 million trillion years expected to take place with me involved. That really turned not just my world, but the entire cast's world upside down. Yeah. And, you know, we are not a show or a network for that matter that really prided itself on perpetuating the violence and that kind of tumultuousness.
The time has come with the Latoya Show.
After the storm, how has Candiace Dillard Bassett overcome and persevered? Find out her thoughts and how she's been dealing with social media. Right, and that's the thing, Candiace. You are overcoming that moment. You're overcoming that moment. Talk about what that has been like to evolve out of that moment and to look back at it and, you know, lessons learned and so forth. What's that been like?
Well, it's not pretty. You know, I think we are a society that likes the idea of, you know, the short, sweet, buttoned up story that, oh, I went through this trial, I experienced this incredible tribulation, and then I prayed about it and the Lord restored me and I'm well, and that's my testimony. And it's like, that's cute. Yeah. If that was, you know, the way that it happened. But there are days when I am in a great space and I feel like I'm progressing and my life is moving. I have a Christmas movie coming out on BET called The Christmas Lottery that airs next on I don't know when this is airing, but it will air very soon.
All right.
And that stars myself, Asia Epperson, Brave Williams, Reginald Vell Johnson, who played one of everyone's favorite TV dads on Family Matters.
That's right.
And you know, I'm excited about my future as far as acting. I also have music that I'm working on that's coming out very soon. So when I focus on those things, it's like, great. But then of course there are days when, you know, you spend too much time on social media and you read too many uninformed opinions about yourself, or you read false information that still to this day comes from the other camp and her people.
Right.
And it just, I don't understand how people can be so awful, unprovoked.
Has this been Candiace's most challenging moment? You're about to find out. Would you say, Candiace, that when you look back at your life, that this has been one of your most difficult, most challenging moments?
Without a doubt,
really?
This has been.
And it's played out in the public eyes, not just a thing, but it played out in the public eyes. One thing when it's behind closed doors, but in the public eyes, very difficult.
Oh, for sure. I think, you know, if this had not played out publicly, it would still be very difficult.
Right.
But, you know, add to that, you know, millions of eyes watching you and commenting and, you know, wishing all kinds of ill and you deserved this and calling you every name in the book. All of that is really hard to deal with. And when I signed up for this platform, obviously I knew that there would be some of that, but never in the context of a physical altercation.
That's right. Would you say that to get through what have you turned to as your source of inspiration? Was it your family? Was it your friends? Was it your prayer life? What was it that has been able to help you push through and persevere through this?
Definitely first was my prayer life and spending time in prayer and spending time listening and just sitting in a space of spirituality and just letting the Lord sort of pour into me whatever I'm supposed to have.
All right.
And that has been more cathartic than I could ever imagine. And God knows me because I'm hard-headed, and he has to tell me things a couple of times.
Well, somebody needs to hear that. Someone else is saying the same thing out there right now.
I'm a hard-headed saint. I'm a hard-headed child of God. Okay, I'm not afraid to say that.
That's all right.
Yes. So no, the way that I communicate with God and the way that the Lord communicates with me, I have to be reminded almost daily that I'm going to be okay, that it's going to be all right.
That's right.
And God knows that about me. So he finds a way to communicate that to me daily. And through that, I'm able to, it reminds me to be grateful and have gratitude in my prayer, even as I'm asking for whatever it is that day, whether it's strength or peace or clarity or whatever it is.
The time has come with the Latoya Foster Show.
Before Candiace was a housewife, she also had a life in politics. Find out about that, her prayer life, and her work-life balance in moments. What's it like trying to balance a marriage, a family, a career, while cameras are rolling all the time? That can't be easy.
No, it's not. I think that we do it well because we are friends,
Okay,
and
that's important.
it's so important. And we have a mutual respect for one another.
Mhm.
So we've really been able to I think anytime you're doing a reality TV show with a married couple, communication has to be at the top of the list of priorities. And it has always been for us. So we have been able to, I mean, we've had our moments. We've had some pretty dramatic moments that happened off camera that, so really kind of upset me that, gosh, why are we letting this show infiltrate our relationship this way?
Right.
And, after having that moment, saying to ourselves, okay, we're not going to allow this circus to infiltrate our marriage and our relationship and our friendship. And we're able to check ourselves and sort of come out of that and remember that it's not us against each other, it's the two of us against everything else.
That's right.
And facing outward together to say it's us against, we're holding each other down, and nothing is going to come in and permeate, our bond. So
right.
we do a pretty good job of that.
Well, now that's fantastic to hear. Now, we also watched your relationship evolve with your mom over the past couple of seasons.
Yes.
And, we have viewers out there. Everyone understands the dynamic mother-daughter. We love our moms.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
But again, you said you had to set some boundaries.
Yes. So, I think I always say this, the gift and the curse of this show is that you get to see yourself played back.
Right.
In a way that most people don't. When you get into an argument with your fiance, not often do you get to, go back and watch the way that you interact with him when you're angry and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And I think that's been what has helped us.
Right.
And also kind of been a hindrance. My mom is not used to seeing herself played back.
Okay.
And we've never been in a situation where I've seen us argue and watch that be played back, not just for us, but the whole world to see.
I can imagine that has to be, that's difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it was hard to watch for both of us. And I think for my mom, she just had a hard time seeing herself in those contentious spaces with her daughter.
Right.
So that took a minute to adjust to. But because of that, because we've also gotten to see ourselves, we've learned how better to communicate and how better to have disagreements and argue and not allow it to consume our mother-daughter relationship.
So what we know from this segment of the show is communication is critical.
Okay, communication is very key. Yes, that's the name of the hour.
There we go. There we go.
Yes.
Well, I want to turn back the hands of time a little bit, because before you were a real housewife of Potomac, you still had a life and you were still doing big things. A lot of people don't know that you were in public service.
Yes, I was.
You worked with the Obama administration.
Yes, I did.
How many people know that?
Moments. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that life.
Yeah, I'm still so proud of the fact that I will forever get to say that I contributed to the administration for the first Black president of the United States of America.
And what were you doing?
So I work in the offices of public engagement and intergovernmental affairs. I started out as an intern and then worked as an associate, and then went to the campaign for the 2012 re-election campaign in Southampton Roads, Virginia, and helped to re-elect President Obama. In my district, we re-elected him with 98% of the vote, and I was in Norfolk, which is a heavily Democratic African-American community. But I still am just so proud to have been able to go down into really the heart of one of the hearts of Virginia and help to reelect our president. I worked on Old Dominion's campus as well as Norfolk State's campus, which is an HBCU. And it was really important to me that I get to incorporate the HBCU experience with this political experience and help to give these young Black students this experience of helping and to contribute to reelecting the first Black president for his second term.
I thought it was very important that we bring that up. As I said, I bet you people don't realize that, or if they knew it, they've forgotten it. So I think it's very important that we let people know how committed you were to public service and to civic engagement. Very important, especially in the times that we're in now.
Especially right now. Yes.
No,
it's for me. People always ask you always speak, so eloquently about the political sphere. You should run for office, and to that I say absolutely not. Heck
maybe
no.
Absolutely not right now.
Absolutely not ever.
Okay.
No.
Candiace, don't make me pull this 10 years from now and you're running for Senate, House, and I say, girl, do you remember this? Do you remember this
But
moment?
Listen, if I have to eat my words for you, I will. But no, I don't see that happening ever. For me, politics is it's never been my thing. I don't like what politics does to people. Yeah. And I think that our current outgoing administration is a great example of the ways in which the political sphere can polarize people and dehumanize people. We're living in the times under a leader who is a demagogue and whose demagoguery has not created a disconnect, but brought out a resurgence of racists and bigots and people who just live to hate anyone and anything who is different. And it's really been sad to see, especially with the pandemic that we're living in, so much of what should be easy and what should be second nature politicized for the gain of one party or another. It should not be difficult to figure out how to work together to find a vaccine, to encourage citizens of this country to quarantine, to wear a mask, to stay home, to consider not just themselves, but the greater good, because
right.
you know what, the United States of America is not the United States without people. And if people aren't thinking of others, you know, in their everyday dealings, then what do we have? Then who are we? We can't call ourselves the greatest anything if we're not willing to sacrifice for anything.
That is
So I just, the COVID debacle just underscored for me again why the political part of it is not for me.
This is your moment. The time has come with the Latoya Foster Show.
This is a season of unprecedented storms, but Candiace has some words of encouragement for you on the other side of This Is Your Moment, coming up next. With that said, Candiace, we know right now, as you said earlier, we're living through this pandemic. We're living through isolation, quarantine. There are viewers out there who are watching this show right now looking and seeking inspiration, because right now they don't know what to think and feel, because they're going through so many changes, so many challenges, tremendous loss. What do you say to them to keep their eye on the prize?
What I would say to myself, you're still here, which means you still have work to do. There's still work to be done, and there's still space and a place for you to do it. Life, what I'm learning, I'm still learning this myself. Life is always going to be ebbing and flowing in different ways. When things are great, enjoy them while they're great, because they won't always be great. And similarly, when things are not so great and you're feeling really crappy and down in the dumps and like you're going to lose it all, don't hold on to that moment either, because that's not going to last forever. And it's very trite to say this, but I say it to myself all the time. God is not going to put anything on you that you cannot handle. I say that to myself. I've said that to myself almost every day over the last year, because I have often felt like I wasn't going to make it. Like I can't get through this. I can't get out of this funk that I'm in, and feeling like, you know, I'm being attacked, or like I'm not good enough. And, you know, I know that this, what I'm saying may not pale in comparison to the things that some of your listeners may be dealing with and feeling. I can't imagine, you know, what it feels like to lose someone, especially to this awful pandemic, to this awful virus. I can't imagine what it feels like to be out of work and not know, you know, when your next place of employment is gonna drop into your lap. I can't imagine, you know, I know we just had Thanksgiving and there were so many people who just couldn't afford to feed their families, or to give their families an adequate Thanksgiving, or to just give their families an adequate meal on a regular day. These are basic human rights that I think we are all entitled to, that we have been stripped of because of so many things. Name one of them being, you know, we're living with an administration, again, that just has allowed politics and partisanship to get in the way of helping your fellow man and helping humans to just live their lives. And I can't imagine what that must feel like. And I know that you tune in to programming like this for inspiration and for, you know, just a feeling of hope.
Yeah.
And what I can give you and what I can say to you is, you will get through it. You can get through it. And I believe that no one is under the sound of anyone's voice on accident, and you're here listening to me flap my gums, because I'm here to tell you that you can and you will be able to get through whatever you're going through. You're still here, so you must have more to do. And just remember that there is more to do if you still have space to do it in. That's what I would say.
I believe if I had to put money on it, you told yourself that a few times.
I have. Yeah.
You say it with such strength behind it. I can tell that's something that you're saying to yourself at certain moments. That's something you said to yourself at some very trying moments. So we thank you for that, because someone needed to know that, someone needed to hear that, someone needed that message reinforced to them. I'm going to close with, Candiace, success in your view.
Mm.
Everyone has the same opportunity to be successful.
Does everyone have the same opportunity?
What do you think?
Oh my goodness. Well, I would say that, well, number one, everyone's definition of success is different.
Yeah.
And as a pageant coach, I'm a pageant consultant for a lot of my clients. One of the big pageant questions is, how do you define success? And it's always so interesting to hear the myriad of different answers that you get. But success, one, for me, is in the eye of the beholder. But two, no, to answer your question, no, I don't believe that success, comes to everyone in the same way. Everyone is not allotted the same opportunities. I just saw a post the other day that was sort of quoting the quote, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. And yes, we all have 24 hours in a day, but for some of us, we have to wake up, take public transportation. You've got to get to work, as you're traveling, you have to travel, driving in your car. You don't have a private jet to get to where you need to go. So everyone's opportunities are not measured the same way. But the spirit behind success is your own doing. And while you may not have the same opportunities as, some of us who are born into money, or who have married into money, or who have worked hard to earn whatever we have, and maybe you're just not there yet, your spirit is what's going to get you there. And how much you pour into yourself, how often you look at yourself in the mirror, how often you encourage yourself to get to where you need to go, is what's going to set you apart and your success from the person who is not encouraging themselves and pouring into themselves.
The time has come with the Latoya Foster Show.
I certainly hope that you all were blessed by today's program. Candiace Dillard Bassett, thank you so much for joining us on today's program. We cannot wait to see what next season holds in store for you, as well as all the projects you're working on, your hairline, your movies, your music, and so much more. We're certainly going to be tuning into every step you take. For all of our viewers out there, thank you so very much for your support. Kevin Adele, the Word Network, and WADL, we thank you for this very moment. And for our viewers out there who would like to support This Is Your Moment and to see this show grow further, you can always send us a cash app at Toya $0120, or you can drop me a line at LatoyaFoster14 at gmail.com for other payment options. And you know what? Drop me a line anyway, because I want to hear from you, LatoyaFoster14 at gmail.com. We have a spectacular holiday show lined up for you next week, and I cannot wait to share that with you. So make sure you're tuning in. Until next week, stay prayed up, stay blessed, happy holidays, and we will see you next week for another